Live.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
All right, here we go.
Oh, I don't know what this thing is. I think it's a strip show, dance show.
Work there, dude.
Welcome to
DeaconLive.
DeaconLive.
Live.
Well,
Welcome back, guys. On today's show, are you itchy at night? You might want to go see a doctor right away. And an update on the girl that coughed on the Uber driver. What a class act she was. And also, are you sure you're the owner of this Netflix account and tired of your Zoom meeting? Well, here's a way to get out of it quickly. It's a new app out there, and you should check this out. I'm sure people have done something like this before. All this and much, much more will be discussed here on Deacon Live. How are you? How are things? How are things going? Hey, guess what? Happy St. Patrick's Day. I totally, with all the coronavirus and everyone being locked in and not being able to do anything, happy St. Patrick's Day, which I guess, it's fallen short. It hasn't gotten the fanfare that it normally does. Let's go on and have all these St. Patrick's Day. No, because we can't go out and conjugate in large quantity of groups and stuff anymore. Well, at least for now. Everything's getting better, and fingers crossed, everything's getting better. A good friend of mine lives in Long Island, New York, and there was an article in the local paper up there, an op-ed piece, and said the comparison between two of the extremes, comparing two states, the extremes, and they compared California and they compared Florida. And they said, during the coronavirus, basically California's been wide open. California's been completely shut down. No one's allowed to go anywhere. They've got curfews. You can only have like one person in a Starbucks at a time, plus the employees. And then everything, you can't do this, you can't do that in large groups and so on and so forth. Everyone in California understands what I'm talking about. You're going through it right now still. And then you got Florida, you got Ron DeSantis out there. He's out there bike week smacking asses and drinking beer with all the bikers out there. Everything's wide open in Florida. And then they did a comparison. They said, okay, since the whole coronavirus has started, the percentile, not the actual numbers, I'm talking the percentile of people who got coronavirus and the people who died from the coronavirus are almost similar. 10%, 9%, 3%, 2%, or 2.4% actually in Florida. So these numbers, based on the occupancy of the state compared to people who actually got the coronavirus, there's wide open, shut down. There was no absolutely, you would think one would be completely, the numbers would be high, and then other one, the numbers would be completely low. This is not the case. So I'm just reporting back to you what I read and what he actually sent me the article, and I read that, and I was like going, well, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Are people smarter in Florida, or are people dumber in California? Are people smarter in California, or are people dumber in Florida? I think it's probably the latter of the two. I guarantee you that. Don't know. Now, hold on. Hey, why are you picking on Florida, Deacon? I'm a Florida boy, born and raised. Cut me open, I bleed sand. I sleep with a ceiling fan on, or any fan on, even if it's 40 degrees outside or 30 degrees like it is today. Well, 40 degrees today. So, I don't have any skin in the game here, but I am a Florida boy, so I'm allowed to talk about Florida. California, I've been out there a couple times, but nonetheless, the numbers are the same. There's no discrepancy between the two. So the only discrepancy I have right now is this daylight savings time. Are we still doing this? Are we still doing daylight savings time? Are we still rolling back the clocks? Are we still doing the things that make us normal people completely go insane? Why do we have to switch the clocks back? Well, because we need more daylight in the summertime or the springtime than we do in the summertime. Why? Why do we need more daylight? Well, because the crops were being grown, and I'm trying to do my 1930s spiel, and the crops need to be grown and the fields need to be rotated, and it helps the farmers get their product out to market, and their corn's in the fields and the crops and the kids and Skippy and Lassie, and someone fell down a well so we can see him in the well a little bit better. But we're still doing it. We're still doing it. Someone was saying, I was actually I was talking to IT Dan, and you can hear our conversations on the other podcast that we do. It's called "Is This Going Somewhere?" You can check that out as well. Those conversations get really dark. He was saying about energy consumption, and I said, "What do you mean energy consumption?" Well, in the daytime, if you're outside or if you're going to bed earlier, the days are longer, you're using less energy, and you're helping everything in the footprint of the world, and Albert Einstein and something about Tesla and cars or something. I don't know. I said, well, all right, but we're on a 24-hour-a-day society. Everyone works or is alive or is active or social any time during the day, 24 hours. What's the city that never sleeps, right? Las Vegas. New York, I guess you can throw that in there too. But we are now a community of people that are up 24 hours a day, whether working or whether doing something, just because of electric. So I don't see the whole reason behind daylight savings time. And there are, I think, 4 or 5 states that don't do it. They don't. Arizona, I think Hawaii does it. There's a couple territories that United States owns that doesn't honor or follow the daylight savings time. So, it works for them. You don't see those people going down. Hawaii's doing just fine, I think. Arizona, I think they're doing pretty good as well. My wife's brother, who passed away several years ago, he used to try to convince me that it was cheaper to run his dryer and do laundry in the middle of the night than it was during the daytime. I said, "Oh, now how do you do that?" And he goes, "Well, the rates are cheaper at night." I go, "What are you talking? How does the power company know that your rates are cheaper at night, and whether you're doing laundry at night and well, let's say it's Deacon. Let's say during the daytime, like a cell phone plan, right? So during peak hours, energy or your power company is like 30 cents a kilowatt hour. Okay, at nighttime it's 5 cents a kilowatt hour. I'm like." And the guy who reads your meter knows exactly the numbers that are on it. Says how many times, or there's like a timer on your light or on your meter there. No, so that makes absolutely no sense. So unfortunately, he passed away. But that's one of the things I remember he said to me. I'm like going, is that true? I don't know if that's true or not. I don't think it is, because you look at your bill, it just says power, from the 1st of January to the 21st. Because that's what they do. They do 24 or 21 day months. That way they can bill you 15 times during the year. Check your calendar. And we're gonna charge you, X amount, 230 some odd kilowatts times, whatever the price is, and your power bill is, $400 or whatever. What's the ones in Texas? They said some of the power bills that were coming back with the city being out of power were like $17,000. Give me a break. So we are getting into spring. The whole Potsatani fill. Now, granted, we had some rain here in North Carolina. Now, for those of you new to the program, we broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, in a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. We sit on about 22 some odd acres here. I have a fully functioning studio, about 800 square feet. We can have live bands over there if you want. We have chickens, cattle, we have horses, lots of chickens and dogs and barn cats and the neighbors' kids once in a while come over. Hey, how you doing, Miss Deacon? What do you want? But this time of year is what they call chick days. Now, being from Florida, I've never heard of chick days. I've never been into the whole farming, agricultural all day long. I'll sit there and I love plants, growing plants, designs, all that stuff. Here in North Carolina, I can't figure out the soil. The pH is wrong, plants are dying, all this stuff. But one of the things they have here in North Carolina, because it is somewhat of an agricultural state, they have what they call chick days. Now, chick days means all your local feed stores, your big feed stores, southern states. There's a hardware store around here that carries feed and Tractor Supplies out there. Some of these big names that you've heard of or might have heard of or a friend of yours has heard of. carry chicks. And when I say chicks, they're for egg laying or meat. It depends on what you want. I didn't know the difference between the two. I mean, I understand the steroids and pumping them up, the Purdue and the Tyson plants and stuff. But there's actual chickens that are just made for eggs. They're little scrawny little guys, and that's what we have. We have a whole bunch of scrawny little guys. Now, unfortunately, the last 2 years, we've lost a couple based on we don't take the chickens to the vet to get vaccinated. We don't take the chickens. We don't have a vet that comes out here and checks them out to make sure everything's right. They are basically vulnerable to everything. Now you can get feed and stuff that's has antibiotics in it, and you can feed a liquid to make sure they have worms, all the basic stuff, kind of like what you do with your dog. But chickens are very, very fragile. Ours usually last anywhere from 3 to 5 years. So we're getting into the flock that we have now is coming up on their 3rd year for one flock and their 4th year for the second flock that we have. And they migrate together and they all get along. So we're like, well, we have to plan for next year because we're guaranteed going to lose, maybe 10 to 20 chickens this year. I know this sounds horrible. So they have chick days. So you go down. We usually buy them from a hatchery and they mail them to us, which is weird in itself, but it's simple. They come to your house within 48 hours. When chickens are born, for those of you who don't know, I know this is farm talk, right? We'll get into the news and stuff, don't worry, and the funny stuff. Chickens can survive on their own once they're hatched for 48 hours without having any kind of nutrients. They have something in their body that already keeps them alive, so they can mail them. They put them in a box, a little cardboard box, like you pick up a cat at the vet or at the shelter, but it's got like full of hay and stuff. So they mail them, and they come here, and if you order like 30, they usually throw 35 in there because 1 or 2 will die. I know, it's sad. So anyways, but it's easy. It comes right to the post office. They literally call you and say, come pick these things up. You go pick them up. You bring them home. You let them free. You let them get in their nesting areas, and boom, you've got brand new chicks. This year we didn't do it. So this year I've got to go to the store and pick out these chicks. My wife, she's busy. She's tied up doing her thing in her office and stuff. But I have to go pick out the chicks this year. So I'm like, babe, how many do you want? I'll get, 30, 20 or 30. That'll do us. Okay. So I go there today. The order was supposed to come in for the store, 100 of these, 100 of these, 100 of these. And I go and I look and I go, there's not much left. They haven't come in yet. So these are the leftovers. I feel so bad. These are the leftovers from the last order. And they're like homeless kids, homeless chicks. And I'm looking at them like going, oh, I don't want to walk out of here empty-handed. I want you guys to go with me, but I don't like your breed. I don't like the kind of chicken you are. You only lay 100 eggs a year. I need chickens that lay 250 eggs to 300 eggs a year, which is a lot. That's almost 1 a day. But that's the business that we do. That's the life that we chose. So I felt bad, and so I left, and I told my wife, they had the whatever, and they're not the egg-producing ones. Well, when are they getting them in? They'll be in tomorrow. I guarantee you. Or you're going to go down and pick them out. And I'm like, do I have to go? It's like you're the soldier on the army or whatever, and you're going through to pick out the people that aren't going to the camps. God, this is horrible. This is horrible. Not the camps, but I'm choosing you to survive. I'm choosing 5 of you to survive. I'm choosing 10 of you to survive. I'm choosing, and I say survive, they'll be sold. Little kids will get them. Other families will get them. But I feel like I don't want to say that you guys are coming with me. Screw all your friends and all your relatives and stuff that you grew up with. You guys, you 20 to 30 are coming with me, and I'm going to take you home and show you to a new family. It is. I mean, think about it. I think about, communal mentality that, here you are, all these chickens, this 300 box of 300 and some odd chickens. Now they separate them by breed and stuff. And you're going, and here I am. I'm the Lord. I'm God. I'm going to choose 5 of you and 5 of you and 10 of you and, 6 of you and 4 of you and whatever. And you guys, I'm saving you. I'm taking you with me, and you're going to live on our farm, and you're going to run free. And well, what about if they could talk, what about my cousin over there and my friend over there, and I just met him on the train, I met him on the thing and all this stuff. Are they going to be okay? I don't know, little chickie, but you're coming with me. I don't want that burden. I don't want that weight on my shoulder. That's a lot for me, because I think that everything has a soul. Even this piece of paper. If I don't pay it enough attention, I feel like I'm neglecting it. It's just the way my brain works. It's just the way I am. All right, so that being said, we'll see how my brain works throughout this show today. I'm an hour behind with the daylight stupid savings time, and I barely shaved. I started the podcast late. I apologize, but you and I will both dredge through this St. Patrick's Day, daylight savings time, all in the same forum right here on DeaconLive. So stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back to DeaconLive. Make sure you follow us on all our social networks, and the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET radio.com, and click on the social contact section, and you can see all the links that links us to you and you to us as well. If you want to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, we're kind of doing like an Instagram push, because my Facebook feed, it just, I post like the stories and stuff that we talk about here on the air, but my Instagram feed is more for actual stuff that we do around here at the property, anything that has to deal with the studio, pictures that I take, or discussions and stuff or topics that I discuss here on the show. So make sure you follow us on all those links as well. Now, summer's here, springtime. My bulbs are coming up. I've never had bulbs before. I've never had, like bulbs, am I saying it right? Why does it sound funny? Bulbs, like flower bulbs. I never really had them in Florida. It was just not a thing. Not for me personally, but here in North Carolina, bulbs are really popular because it signifies springtime, and all the gladiolas pop up, the daffodils pop up, all the tulips pop up. All these different plants are popping up. Now, I planted some bulbs. God, it sounds so funny. I planted a bunch of bulbs, flowering bulbs, in all my abandoned pots that don't have flowers in them. And they're starting to pop up now. I'm like, oh my God, they actually work. I thought it was a gimmick. No, they actually work. They're popping up. And it's really, really cool. Now, one thing that I can't have here on the property, because in Florida, the soil really drains well. But here in North Carolina, it doesn't drain. It runs off. It doesn't soak into the ground. So you're standing around with all this puddles and stuff everywhere all the time. I'm like, well, I need to mulch my garden beds. I know, here we go. Home and garden show now, right? My neighbor came across this website. My neighbors, I should say. Husband and wife. Let's lump them together. And he had a whole bunch of mulch on his driveway. Now, his house is probably a good, 500 to 800 feet away from ours, but we kind of communicate in between the properties. We kind of walk over and meet in the middle somewhere and talk, like on the fence. Hey, how you doing? Good. How you doing? Want a beer? Sure. I'm like, well, where did you get all that mulch from? Did you grind up some trees on your property and stuff? He goes, nope. It's a company called Get Chip Drop, and it's free. I go, what do you mean it's free? He goes, basically you sign up for it, and especially here in North Carolina. Now, this is nationwide, and they drop off truckloads. And when I say truckloads, the big, you ever seen like tree trimming crews, especially during hurricanes, and they've got those big trucks, the big box trucks full of mulch, and you're like, oh man, I wish I could have that mulch. Well, guess what? You can. And all you have to do is sign up for it, and some of the arborists in the area, in your local area, will sign up for it as well. They pay a certain fee to figure out, instead of taking the mulch and stuff to a dump site and paying that fee to dump it off at a landfill or something, they'll dump it off on your driveway for free. And it's called Get Chip. Now, they're not a sponsor of the show, so it's called getchipdrop.com. Now, this is for gardeners. Looking for free wood chips near you? We've got you covered. Chip Drop finds the local tree companies that are working in your area, notifies them that you would like to have some wood chips or logs or both. So you can have, sometimes there's logs, there's small logs and big logs. Next time the truck is full, and they can pull up all your information through the service and deliver the wood chips straight to your driveway. even if you're at work. So sign up today. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes they have sticks in it. Sometimes they have debris in it. Sometimes it's not all the time. But you have to understand, this is just, they're grinding up trees in a certain area. And this is a little video to help you understand whether chip drop is good for you.
As we all know, arborist wood chips are the best mulch for your garden. So if you don't want to have to flag down your local arborist, Chip Drop is the second best way to get that mulch for free. Here's how it works. You sign up at getchipdrop.com. You'll be added to a list of sites where arborists can drop their mulch. The arborist pays to access the list, so it's free for you. I know what you're thinking. Great mulch, delivered right to your door for free. What's the catch? Well, there's a few. Today we're talking with people who have used Chip Drop who probably regret it. So it looks like the arborist just dropped a large dump truck-sized pile of mulch right here in the middle of your driveway.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Why didn't you just ask for less?
I don't think you can specify how much you get. If you get a chip drop, it's whatever size truck the arborist happens to have.
And some of the trucks are 16 to 20 yards of mulch.
Or how full it is.
So you have
or wood chippings. I wouldn't say mulch. It's wood chippings.
to take the entire amount, even if it's 15 or 20 yards of mulch.
Yes.
That sounds convenient. So I noticed that this is not exactly store-bought mulch. There are leaves, pine needles, sticks, a candy wrapper. I see a straw. Are you okay with that?
Yes, I am.
Why?
Well, because it's free.
I see. So does this gigantic pile of wood chips in the street bother your neighbors?
No, because they actually get to take some of it. We all got it together. I have a neighbor around the corner who will take some, and then anybody else who needs it.
You can select logs on Chip Drop,
You can, or some logs and mostly chips.
but it's not called log drop.
It's not. It's just an option under Chip Drop.
So with a pile of mulch this size, I'm sure they gave you plenty of notice before they dropped it off?
That is not correct.
No notice at all.
No notice.
No.
Usually they don't give you any notice at all.
I once got mine within hours of requesting it. This time it took 6, maybe 7 weeks.
6 or 7 weeks. That sounds like a scam.
It's a free chip scam is what it is.
So there you have it. No notice, tons of chips, and you might have to wait forever. Chip drop is a real hassle, unless you're like these folks. And if after all this, you really do want a chip drop, check out our next video, which will tell you how to get ready for one. Happy mulching.
So there you go. That's not bad. The video kind of goes, well, maybe I don't want to have that, or maybe I do. If it's a great plan, you get it for free and they drop it off at your house. But there are some parameters. There are some not hoops that you have to jump through, but there are things that are going on. It is a full truckload. It might have some debris in it, but I just got 2 today. I got 2 truckloads today. I looked through it. There's like a stick or 2 in there. I haven't gone through the whole entire thing. And the guy was real nice. He's a real friendly guy. He goes like, right here, aquí. I'm like, see. And he dropped it off 2 big old truckloads. And I have, 40 yards of mulch out there. I'm going to get the tractor, fire at the tractor and going around. It's free. It's free. What do you want? I gave the guy a couple dozen eggs. He was happy. He was like, oh, thank you. I love huevos. All right, see you there. I think his name was Edwin. At least that's what the license plate said. But another group of people that are taking advantage of free stuff and shouldn't be, and the company's jumping down their throat about it. Netflix tests a clampdown on password sharing. The company said the feature was being tested with a limited number of users, a move that might signal a broader crackdown on the common practice of password sharing amongst family and friends. Now, you guys out there, I know we've got Disney Plus on our Fire Stick. We don't have Disney Plus. The only reason why we have Disney Plus on our Fire Stick is because, you ready for this? It happens sometimes. Her nieces came up for Thanksgiving. And they were like, well, don't you have Disney Plus? We're like, no. Well, we get Disney Plus free on our Verizon package or whatever they got. Can we download the app and put it on your TV? Sure. So they download the app and then they sign on to their Disney Plus account, and boom, all of a sudden now we have it just by default. We have it sitting out there in the main TV room there. So I can watch, Mandalorian and all those other movies out there that Disney deems it's not racist. But we didn't ask for it. We didn't say, hey, give us your password and stuff. To watch things like Queen's Gambit and Lupin, people have been borrowing Netflix passwords from family members or friends or people that you may not know, and you're splitting the bill with them. Like, neighbors. Netflix has started testing features that could produce users who are borrowing passwords from someone outside of their household and to buy a subscription. The company said the feature will be tested in limited number of areas and users. It may signal a broader clampdown on some of the common practices as far as sharing passwords and stuff. All right, to continue watching, these users are asked to either verify that it was their account entering the code that was sent to them by a text or email, or join with their own account. They had the option to complete the verification code later. Now, the basic Netflix subscription, which allows customers to watch on one screen at a time, costs $8.99. Customers who pay more can watch on additional screens simultaneously. So if I want to watch something in the front room, my wife wants to watch something in the back room, that's fine. But what about people that are in different locations? Netflix declined to discuss the new feature previously reported in detail. But the industry analysis said that it might be part of an effort to enforce Netflix frequently overlooked terms of use, which states that the service is conducted or content is for your personal non-commercial use and you may not share it with individual or beyond your household. Right, I'm going to do that. So I guess what they're going to do is when you start signing in, if you start signing in multiple accounts or multiple devices, they're gonna flag you and say, hey, send us your code and punch in the code here. It's no different than, let's say, like I have Yahoo. I've had Yahoo, my account, since Yahoo was just a little Yahoo. And if I sign onto a different device, it'll send me a code to my phone number, and it'll say, are you trying to sign in? And then if you are, enter this code, and then you enter the code, and then you can sign in. Netflix is just, they were ahead of the time, and now they're behind the time. They're just catching up to this now. I guess they're trying to backtrack and go, I don't want to be rude, but is this really you? Are you really doing this? We kind of got ahead of ourselves, and we just kind of allowed people to add users and stuff. But now we're seeing that come on, there are multi-billion a year company. A couple people share. All right, even if they share, let's say you got one person, how many accounts can you share on? I mean, is one person responsible for 20 people? No, it's not that extreme. Just let it go. Let it go. Oh, that's Disney Plus. Wrong commercial. Well, there you go. But I mean, are they really losing that much? I mean, that really is screwing the thumbnails down on people who have Netflix, and it might turn them off. It might turn them off a little bit and saying, well, you know what? If I had a choice between Hulu and Disney Plus, or what is it, Amazon Prime Video, which is great. If you've got you already sign up for Prime home delivery for free. It's like $129 a year or something like that. I don't know what the price is. You get all that Prime stuff already at your house. And now they got Paramount, and everyone's trying to get in on the game. HBO Max. Netflix should just say, hey, whoa. Let's just relax. Let's not make everyone give up their password just yet. But that's what they're doing. So you might have that. If you're one of the test groups, give us a call. Not give us a call. Email us at any time and let me know how you feel about that at deacon@prophetradio.com. All right, so when we come back, an update on the Uber driver, the girl who was coughing all over the Uber driver's face, and then posted her and what video. I said I got the update on her, and you'll be like, oh, shocked, very shocked. Stick around, you listen to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. You want some free swag? Well, of course, you all want something free. We all want something for free. The way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. Click on the swag section. Actually, click on the social contacts, and you can get some free swag. There's a little form to fill out. Give us your name and address. I'm not gonna do anything with it. Believe me, I got other shit to do rather than hunt you down and knock on your door and ask you questions. But all you do is you pick out what kind of swag you want, and we'll send it directly to your house. That's all it is. Unfortunately, you guys overseas, it might take a week or two, if not longer, to get it to you. But we'll get it to you. So if you want some free swag, go over to Prophet Radio and click on that and you can get it. Now, being in Florida, Florida's a very, very flat state. There's a reason why they ran cocaine and stuff out of Florida, because there's so much flat land for airplanes to land and marshlands that's undetected or unsurveyed or not under surveillance at any given time. You can fly low planes in there, land, drop off your stuff, and get the hell out of there and fly underneath all the radars and stuff. Unfortunately, this plane right here struck an SUV in South Florida, killing 3. It's horrible. It's horrible. But everything was caught on a Nest camera, or I'm sorry, a Ring camera. Got to remember who the sponsors are. So a boy traveling with his mother in an SUV was struck by a plane in Florida, has died in a fiery accident. They do the fiery accident? God. Which was all caught on a doorbell cam across the street. In 3 p.m., a plane crashed in Pembroke Pines, claimed the life of both the people on board the plane and also one of the childs. Also the child in the car. We heard like a bomb, neighbor said. A tremendous noise. Everything was on fire. I dived into it dived into a car. Fernandez's doorbell camera caught the whole thing as the SUV was driving down the street and suddenly appeared in the right-hand corner a single-engine plane, Beechcraft Bonanza, diving from the sky, smashed into the vehicle and careened down the street. The craft keeps going and erupts in a ball of flame, which is horrible. Now, for those of you weak at heart, it's a doorbell camera, so it's kind of far away, but you can see this happen on her doorbell camera. So here we go. There's the SUV on the left-hand corner. Now, for every podcast that we do, we have a matching video from here in the studio, so you can see my monitor and everything that goes on in real time as I'm discussing it here on the show. And the way you do that is go to prophetradio.com, click on DeaconLive, and for every audio we have, we also have the videos as well from here in the studio. Now, here you go. Here's the SUV. This is a doorbell camera, probably a good maybe 200 feet away. I'm going to do it real slow. The car's just driving down. And out of the very top of the picture, this plane just comes down, clips the vehicle, small little single prop plane, clips the vehicle. And when I say clip the vehicle, it just took the roof off. Skids across the highway, gas and everything, fuel everywhere, and then everything catches on fire. And then engulfs the SUV. Oh, horrible, horrible, horrible. It's you never know. I mean, back to the chickens thing. You know, I don't want to pick out someone. I don't want to pick the little chickies out and the other ones, I don't know. But you never know what's going to happen to you. And that SUV just, I mean, unfortunately, hearts go out to, I say hearts go out. Terrible incident, just a horrible, horrible incident in itself. But what are the odds of something like that happening? What are the odds of you just driving on the road? And granted, there's a private. It's not a private. It's a commercial, but it's made for smaller planes and stuff. And they have 4 runways down there, and the planes are always going up and always going down. So this is nothing new for the neighborhood there. But the planes do, according to the neighbors, the planes do kind of fly kind of low. So maybe it was a training thing. I don't know. They're still investigating what actually happened, why the plane fell out of the sky and clipped this. I say clipped, completely demolished the SUV and killing 3 of the 4 people involved. So, God, horrible, horrible. I know. All right, sorry. Lame fluffy, lame fluffy. So on last podcast, we talked about the girl, the Uber driver. Hold on, let me find it. we talked about the 3 girls that were in the back seat of an Uber, and he pulled over to get gas. He told the girls to put on their masks. The girls all put on their masks in the back seat of his car, and then they started taking off the mask as he's driving down the road now. And they said, no, I'm not, he's like, put the mask back on. No, I'm not putting on my mask. I'm going to cough all over you. And then she had that famous video. And if you want to see everything, it's on the last podcast if you want to check that out. Well, here's the update for her. I'm going to give you all the details as soon as I get rid of all these pop-ups. The woman caught on video coughing on an Uber driver surrenders to the cops. Shocker. A woman caught on video snatching the mask off her Uber driver's face, coughing on him, admitting that she had COVID during the pandemic, has surrendered herself to San Francisco Police Department Sunday night. Arena, A-R-N-A, Camilla, 24, was booked in the San Francisco County Jail on suspicion of robbery, assault, battery, and conspiracy and violation of the Health Ordinance and Safety Code, police said. She quickly posted a $35,000 bond and was released pending future court appearances. Hours later, on Monday, another woman linked to the incident, 24-year-old Malaysia King, made her appearance in Las Vegas courtroom and agreed to be transferred to California. So I guess she was from out of town and got transferred to California, facing similar charges following her arrest last week. For the incident last week, sorry. The Uber driver, oh, here we go. You ready? Harka? God almighty. Hadka. Okay, all right. I'm just gonna say the Uber driver because it's a lot of vowels and consonants, and I unfortunately I'm not trained on how to pronounce these things. So, the Uber driver, who's 32, was driving the women on March 7th when he realized one of them was not wearing a mask and stopped the vehicle. According to police, we all know this from last week's show. Indeed, the Uber driver's dash cam has gone viral. The victim grabbed and eventually regained possession of his phone because the girl behind the seat grabbed his phone. The suspects were exited out of the vehicle. Another passenger reached over and opened the window and sprayed what was believed pepper spray into the car after the driver. After they exited the car at the driver. The suspects fled the scene, police said. The alleged spray wasn't captured on video, but King was charged with assault with a caustic chemical, police said. So that's a big no-no. So the Uber driver, who was from Nepal, told he was targeted because of his South Asian immigration, or he's a South Asian immigrant. No hate crimes have been charged or mentioned on either of the women's arrests, and the police have not commented on the allegations. Meanwhile, the Uber driver and Uber and Lyft said they're all banned. Now, here's the thing. The Uber driver, which I can't pronounce his name, has raised more than $97,000 on a GoFundMe. So there you go. So that'll help him, maybe do some cool things with it. Maybe get his life back together. Maybe that's what he's doing. He's on his last brink of trying to make his way living in here, being a South Asian immigrant. Maybe this will help him do something and help his family out, and I hope everything goes well with that. So, yeah, they're ending up in court. They turned themselves in when they found out they had a warrant issued for their arrest. So there you go. Not so big and bad anymore. I hate to say that, but I mean, she was up there flocking her feather. She was out there showcasing her feathers around, strutting around like she was Queen Bee out there, and then all of a sudden, this is what happened. It's a shame. It's a shame. Why would you treat someone like that? Oh, well. All right, when we come back, speaking of treating people a certain way, are you tired of your Zoom meetings? Some Zoom meetings are mandatory, and some Zoom meetings you're just kind of sitting there going, oh, my God, here we go. Another Zoom meeting with Paul and Teresa and whoever, and I'm just going to sit here and not do anything. Maybe I can get out of it. How can I get out of it? Well, this guy's designed an app to help you get out of your Zoom meetings. A a little bit easier than normal. So stick around. We'll talk about that. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all our social contacts, and the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. Click on the social contact section, and you get a little drop-down menu, and you can go through and look at all the, excuse me, all the links and stuff of what connects us to you and you to us as well. Make sure you subscribe, like, and do all that stuff as well. Now, with technology is catching up with us slowly, but also at a rapid pace. So, for example, we went from having incandescent light bulbs to fluorescent light bulbs to the little corkscrew light bulb that's out there. To, I think, our power company actually has programs where you can buy like the LED light bulbs. Now, LED light bulbs have come a long way in a short length of time. LEDs themselves, a light emitting diode. Usually the light itself is a blue color. Now, they've done filters, they've adjusted that, they've fixed transistors and stuff. So now a lot of our light bulbs that you see in your house today are LED, and they have a nice, either they perfected the hot glow or the bright white light, the warm glow, and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, in this town right here, our very own Charlotte, North Carolina, the lights, the big street lights outside, oh, street lights, come on, you better have your ass inside or mom and dad will whip your ass. The streets in this town are being colorfully lit by the street lights in a very, very awesome looking purple hue. Now, what's happening there? Neighbors in the East Charlotte neighborhood have been scratching their head for days over the purple colored street lights. So the street lights in the neighborhood have turned to a purple hue, which is really, really cool. Or are they honoring Prince? Or we're the home of the Panthers. They're not Panther colors. They're wondering why the street lights are turning purple. This is directly from Duke Energy. The purple lights are caused by a manufacturer defect that we have identified in some LED lights that we have installed around the Carolinas. The issue causes the lights in the transition from white to purple over time. There's no safety issues with the lights. They will continue to work. It's just that they are purple. And so, technology, these lights, they probably bought the cheapest ones. It's a city thing. It's an ordinance thing. The town said, oh, you want these lights? Yeah, we'll put them up and they'll last for a little bit, but they're going to turn purple. Purple? When? Who knows? Who knows? It's a shot in the dark. Ha, get it? Lights, street lights, purple. Anyways. Now, late at night, you're getting ready for bed. You're wrapping everything up for the evening. You're sitting down, you had your dinner, you're watching the late show or whatever the last show that you watch while you're going to bed. And sometimes you're laying in bed, lights are off and everything, and you start feeling a little itchy sometimes. I cannot stand it. I have to take a shower, whether it's a full-on body scrub or I just have to rinse off for the day, depending on what I've done. Like if I've been in the house all day, to get in my personal hygiene business, if I've been in the house all day, laundry or dishes or just mopping or doing general stuff around the house, at the end of the day, I'll just rinse off in the shower. But if I've been outside, bush hogging or moving the tractors or doing something with the horses or any of the livestock that we have, I'll take a nice hot shower at the end of the day. Because if I don't, I'm not going to bed dirty, but the light work inside the house, if I don't take a shower when I go to bed, or rinse off at least, I get an itchy feeling on my legs. And it's just a heebie-jeebies things to me. I don't know what it is. But some people out there, when they lay in bed, they start itching. Their hands itch or their skin itches, and they itch that. Now, scientists and doctors have discovered that is a sign of maybe this. You ready? I'm going to send everyone to a tailspin. If you're feeling this at night, you need to get your liver checked out, says doctors. Too much sugar consumption, putting putting on a few pounds and drinking even a little bit of alcohol at the end of the night can be potentially harmful for your liver. Unfortunately, you can't just check in and make sure everything's running smoothly on this vital organ without help from a medical professional. But there are ways for you to notice some little things that on your everyday activities that might give you signs that this is happening. According to experts, if you are experiencing certain uncomfortable symptoms at night, you might need to get your liver checked out as soon as possible. If you start experiencing itchy feelings at night, and it tends to worsen late in the evening during the night, you might have a liver, as I stumble over the word, you might have a liver disease. One of the duties of the liver is the responsibility for breaking down and excreting substances that your body doesn't need through bile. If this fails or is unable to do its regular work for whatever reason, its next organ that it relies on to try to take up the slack for getting rid of the bile is salts in the skin. This produces an itchy feeling. Now, itching is usually associated with skin disease, but unlike skin disease, you generally do not notice a rash. If the itching is response to liver disease, you should seek medical attention right away. Boy, if this thing doesn't scare the shit out of you, I don't know what was or what will. I'm itching. Oh, I'm dying. Itching associated with liver disease that depends on the primary effect of the limbs, especially the palms and soles. It's usually worsened at night and exacerbated by heat during a menstrual cycle or hormone replacement therapy, pregnancy, and also contact with wool. Well, I think wool in itself will give you the itchies. And for more symptoms, you need to pay closer attention to, go to several signs that your body is telling you that there's something wrong. I think she's trying to pawn off a book here. So anyways, Helen says that the author of this article says that other symptoms of liver disease can be bleeding, bruising, black bowel movements, dark urine, abdominal swelling, nausea, lack of appetite, abdominal pain. And for more update to health, go check up here and sign up for our thing. So don't just think my skin's itchy. I've got liver. I'm dying. There's more combinations thereof. But I mean, that's one of the things, if you start itching at night, but I always get the heebie-jeebies. I can't lay in bed because my legs start itching. And they said mostly it's from your palms or the sole of your feet, the outside. So everyone take a deep breath. We're okay. I swear to you, we are okay. And speaking of being okay, this woman right here took her life in her own hands when a black bear showed up at her place. Now, for those of you who don't know, here in the United States, we have black bears. We don't have a whole lot of brown bears or big bears. The black bears here in the United States usually get anywhere from 300 to 400 pounds in size. I know we were boating up and down the St. Johns River, which is in Florida, and black bears are really easy to see, but they're small, they're lanky, they're not your typical cuddly bear. Now, this woman right here came across a black bear in her yard just after the hibernation has opened up. Now that the winter's gone, this is up in New Jersey and stuff. Now that the winter's gone, bears are getting out and trying to gather food and whatnot. So this woman right here,
Go ahead.
She's trying to prove a point that black bears are more scared than us than we are of them. So here this is a good sized mama bear, and she's got a camera. She's probably a good 6 feet away from her. And the way you see this is go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio, and for every podcast that we do, we have a matching studio video called Under the Tent that we broadcast so you can see this in real time. So here she is. Make sure I got the right thing up here. So here she is, and she's got a big old black bear in front of her.
Okay, there he's clicking his
He's clicking his throat is what he's doing.
He's clicking. That is saying, stay away from me.
So he's clicking saying, hey, get away from me. I'm a bear. I'm scared, but, get away from me or I'm going to attack. And then this happens.
There he goes. That is a bluff charge, people. Now watch this. I'm going to chase him.
Now, she's literally like 4 foot from this bear. And the bear kind of did this like stomp on the ground and kind of cowers back.
There you go. Okay. Is my point proven? Okay. Charge, people. Now watch this. I'm going to chase him. There you go. Okay. Is my point proven to everybody who says that they've almost been attacked by a bear? I'm a woman. I'm all alone. I've seen this in the woods
forget about
all
it. So the bear's hiding behind 2 trees and just kind of cowering
Wake up
behind
with
it.
New Jersey. People, look. Bears are timid animals. There, he bluff charged me again.
Yeah, because you're behind the tree or you're in front of the tree.
Now I'm just going to tell him this is my property. Go. 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 Go.
So he runs up and he grabs the tree and holds onto it.
Go. Go.
And now he's gone. He's a big bear.
Okay. Take care, but have a nice hibernation.
Yeah. Put her out there with the little mama bear with a bunch of cubs. She'd be dead. Dead. Gone. All right, when we come back, I'll tell you how to get into these or get out of your Zoom meetings, and we'll wrap up the show and let you guys get back to what you got to do. Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all our social networks, and the way you do that is go to prophetradio.com, click on social contacts. Make sure you fill out a form there so you can get some free swag. We'll send it right to your house. Just tell us what you want out of the content or the options that you have there as well. Now, before you go back to work tomorrow or whenever you're listening to us, think about this. You've got your Zoom meetings, and some of the Zoom meetings are boring. I mean, you're literally sitting there. If you ever had like an office meeting at a big conference table and you're just sitting there like looking down and doodling and I wish there was a way I can get out of this meeting. This guy right here has designed an actual app for your computer to help you get out of Zoom meetings. It's called the Zoom Escaper, and it lets you sabotage your own meeting with audio problems like crying babies and more. Had enough with Zoom meetings? Can't quote-unquote bear another soul-numbing day of sitting on video calls? The only distraction is your rapid aging face pinned to one corner of the screen like a dying bug. Well, if so, then boy, do we have an app for you. It's called the Zoom Escaper, free web widget that lets you add an array of fake audio effects to your Zoom call. You can choose from barking dogs, construction noises, crying baby, or even subtle effects like choppy audio, unwanted echoes, those type things that happen during a Zoom call meeting. Now, this gentleman right here is going to give you a little demonstration. He's the one who invented this. Play for me, please.
I'm Sam, and I'm the inventor of the Zoom Escaper.
This is Sam.
A tool to help you escape Zoom meetings by
all right, let me get to that. He's going to show you how to install it. Now, this is all
installed to get the Zoom.
You can donate to his little thing here if you want to help Sam out. It's very exciting, by the way.
And then pick as your app. You can hit start, and then you'll need to go to Zoom and change a few settings. Make sure that your microphone is set to VB cable. Have suppress background options here.
Okay, and the options and all the stuff.
Normal to everyone else on the Zoom call. But if I go and back to Zoom Escaper, I can add.
So he says you appear normal on the Zoom call, but you can go back to your Zoom Escaper and start playing with the audio. So here's an example of the audios that he has programmed in this thing.
Echo to my voice, so I can make myself echo, feedback, delay. I could add like a guy crying in my apartment, or maybe some.
He's got a guy crying,
blowing,
some wind,
dog.
He's got all these going on at once.
Construction noise.
I like the guy crying.
Babies. Sounds
He's even got an option on there that has urinating. So if you want a urinating sound.
Urinating. Go back.
Poor guy.
And, just do this until no one is willing to be in a Zoom call with you anymore. And
how about just blast some horrible music in the background? How about do that?
Once you're done, just hit the stop button here, and then to make things normal back in Zoom, just open up your microphone settings and switch back from VB cable to your regular microphone. And that's it.
You should care for your plants back there, Sam. There you go. So there you go. It's the Zoom escaper that lets you sabotage your Zoom meetings if you want to have like things playing in the background and stuff. That's a little extreme. I know a lot of people will go, hey, and then I got someone's at the door. I gotta go, and then I don't know how do you get out of Zoom meetings. I don't do Zoom meetings. Share with you is a very, very awesome story, very lovable story about Potato. No, not the actual vegetable. If you don't know who Potato is, the dog that loves greeting neighbors so much, her family put up an intro sign to introduce you to Potato. Potato is an incredible social dog. Her favorite thing in the world is saying hi to everyone who lives in her neighborhood on a daily basis. Her personality is just like a door greeter at a grocery store. C, the letter C-E-E, who owns Potato, says that ever since Potato, she was 6 months old, Potato has always loved spending all day outside in the front yard waiting for people to come by and pet her. She's a corgi. It was her very favorite hobby until the pandemic started and people were suddenly worried about Potato's family people started to worry about suddenly that Potato's family wouldn't want anyone petting her anymore. Potato's family parents wanted everyone to find a way to let everyone know that it was okay to give their dog all the love and attention that it needed. We would like to reassure people that it was okay to pet Potato. She was getting depressed and suddenly lack of attention. She started by barking at people she knew who normally pet her, who would stop just to get their attention. We figured it was a nice way to be connected with all of our neighbors and help people feel a little less lonely during this weird time. So they've actually created a little sign for Potato, and it says, "This is Potato." It's got a little corgi on it, and it says here on the note or on the sign, "She is friendly, and yes, you can pet her, even now with the virus. She also loves every dog, so feel free to introduce your dog as well." Potato facts. Her birthday is January 6th. Hey, that's my birthday, 2019. She's a Wash Pembroke Corgi. She loves sunny days, hikes, other dogs, other people, rolling in stinky things, and road trips. She dislikes rain, bats, nail clips, and being picked up. She knows 25 tricks and has a doorbell inside that she rings when she wants to go out. Aww. You can see her on Instagram or tag her in your photos at potato_corgi or corgo, C-O-R-G-O, on your pictures when you take pictures of, and look at it. Oh, cute little girl. Corgi, little Potato. Potato's out there greeting the people, telling everyone that we're all going to get through this and everything's going to be all right. How about that for little Potato? Well, on that note, I'll let you guys get back to what you got to do. Make sure you follow us on all your social accounts. Make sure you check out our other podcasts. Is This Going Somewhere? It's a darker conversation of things going on in the news as far as darker conversations, things that are hard to discuss at the time with my IT guy, Dan, who left his job over 20 some odd years. And most of these are his stories. And also make sure you check out Bad Calls, where I make fun of telemarketers that call here to the station, and I try to keep them on hold or on the line as much as I can. Now, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for hanging out with us. My name is the Deacon, saying good night. And good night.
Oh, no. Wait, come back.
This is the end. The absolute end.
Écoute-moi.
Late start.